Hey everyone, it's Sean with Pew Pew Tactical, and today we are taking a look at the Palmetto State Armory Jackal. Now we're going to run this thing through its paces and show you just what it can do. But before we do that, do us a favor please, help us out with the algorithmic overlords. We need to overcome them. Hit the like and subscribe button. In exchange for your cooperation, we'll provide you with this cringy gun meme. Okay, so let's talk about the Jackal. What is it exactly? Basically, what we're looking at is an AR platform that's piston driven, and it's got a 10.5 inch barrel. You can see we've got an A2 bird cage up here. We've got a monolithic upper, so check that out. It's all one piece up here. And going to the back, we've got a folding stock with a brace on the rear. It's also chambered in 5.56. All right, so let's talk about the ergonomics on this gun. Obviously a shortened AR type platform. You've got the old A2 grip here, but one of the interesting things is the side charging handle. Now the Jackal comes with this charging handle that is reversible. It's non-reciprocating, but you can switch it to the other side if you want to. Now the ergos, as far as the mag release, are only one-sided. And then of course you've got your bolt catch release and your fire controls only on the left side. They are not located on the right side. And then finally, when we get back here to the end, you've got the brace from SB Tactical kind of completing the trip. All right, so next we're going to talk about the trigger. And it's not my favorite. It's not terrible. It feels very mil-spec. It's a single stage. There's not any kind of pre-travel here. It's just automatically on pressure, and then it breaks and then reset right there. Very audible, very tactile. There's a nice snap to it, and then we'll break the shot again. There we go. And now let's talk about accuracy. Everyone, we're taking some new shots from the Benchmaster, shooting some MOA. All right. So we appreciate you watching the video, but remember to head over to pewpewtactical.com for the full review to get all the specs and information you need on the PSA Jackal. Okay, so we just finished shooting MOA, and interesting thing, combination of the 10.5 inch barrel and the single stage trigger on the PSA Jackal, we were able to come up with some groups here. Now, the first one that we used was AAC, PSA's ammo, 55 grain. Shot this group, which is roughly 2 inches. I did have this flyer over here. Then we moved on to some Remington, just some standard 55 grain. And again, omitting the flyer, you know, this one's a little closer to 1 inch, but the next two groups were Remington match, and I want to say that was like 68 grain, pretty widespread, interestingly, and about the same up here, but somewhere between 2 and 3 MOA, which is not too bad considering the package. Do you like shooting suppressed? We do too. That's why we'd like to thank our sponsor, Silencer Shop, for sponsoring this video. You probably know them from the kiosk at your local gun store. So one of the cool things about the Jackal is it has an adjustable gas system located right up front here. All you've got to do is reach up and you can dial in the amount of gas that you want. This is especially useful when you're shooting suppressed. So we're going to leave it at its base right here and just try and see how it handles with this suppressor mounted. And it's launching forward a little bit. That one just dropped out. Launching forward again. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust it a little bit there and just see how that has an effect on the ejection pattern. Okay, that's perfect. That's kicking them out right where we needed them to be. So really cool feature on the Jackal to be able to adjust your gas so easily. So another cool thing is the folding stock here. Because it's a piston system, you can actually fire it with the stock closed. Controls are a little bit harder to get to, but you can do it. And as you can see, everything's still right there. Functions just fine because there's no buffer tube and system to deal with back here. So while we're back here at the back end, you can see there's a QD mount located at the bottom of the pick rail on the back of the receiver. And it's not too much of a problem. I did have one kind of catch a hair on my hand, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. But I guess some people have not appreciated the location of that particular QD well right there. But let's move on to another observation that I've had, and it's kind of particular to this SB brace. Now, wait, why are you making that? All right, don't do that. Don't do that. Look, we just got to get through this video, man. Okay, if we, no. Listen, you are not Steve Harvey, and this is not the Family Feud. Knock it off. Can I please finish? Okay, here we go. All right, that does it. Okay, can we please finish? All right, thank you. So the observation that I wanted to tell everyone is I realize this is not intended for shouldering, but if you shoulder and you pull this in to handle recoil, you can see it starts to fold up a little bit. So keep that in mind. Okay, so final thoughts on the Palmetto State Armory Jackal. This is a pretty cool platform. I like the ability to fold the stock up and put it away potentially as a truck gun or something a little more concealable than your standard AR-15. You can still fire it in this configuration. It's got a lot of the same utility and versatility that the AR-15 does. So with the overall idea of it being very reliable, we experienced some issues at first. One of the first issues that we had was the simple fact that when we were sitting on the ground firing from 25 yards just to establish our zero, it would not feed from the magazine. It would fire one shot, eject, but not load another. What we ultimately realized after a few malfunctions was that the gas system had already been adjusted prior to us firing our first shots. And once we got that figured out and dialed back in, it has been absolutely reliable. It takes a little bit of adjusting, obviously, when you use a different load or if you add a suppressor, but man, it's been really good. The accuracy for a 10.5 inch barrel, and with this kind of trigger, I imagine you could probably do better if you upgraded the trigger, but it's decent. It's pretty good. Overall, we're pretty happy with it. All right, we appreciate you watching. Now remember, hit the like and subscribe to help us out because we are demonetized. I think that's how you say it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.